So you see on this side, we're tying into the existing fence. And it might be a little hard to see, but I'm gonna bring up this post to balance them all out to be a smooth, straight line across the top. Get them ready for pickets. And I'm gonna use this WingJack right there. All right, guys. So I drove all these posts to 67 inches exposed out of the ground. Used the wingman tool to effortlessly, single-handedly attach all the 2x4s to the post, evenly spaced all the way down without using a tape measure. The only measurement that I have had to know in this whole process is 67 inches for a 6-inch or 7-inch reveal for our post matcher sticking up out of the ground. So as you can see, we're going to try to match these 3 posts up with that second to last post, where we're starting to tie into the previous fence. And I'm going to use a WingJack. You always want to use a 2x4 or a block below the jack, closest to the back side of the post, so you don't damage the feet of the jack before lifting. But I'm sure I'll be able to speed this video up a little bit and show you how easy it is and effortless it is to do some fine-tune adjustments on this fence line before it's ready to hang the pickets. So with these jacks, you got to use a drill. You can't use the impact. I like to lock it in and put it in one speed, kind of like the high torque mode. Once you get it started, you can switch it over to 2. But I like to start it out in 1. So now I'm just going to simply, little tip I found to get the initial pull started. I got all 4 pins or cotter pins in the clevis pins. I'm going to give it a little bit of pressure upwards, and it may want to bend the post forward. Once that happens, you simply just grab the top of the post and pull it to you a little bit while slowly applying more pressure onto the post, lifting up more on the post, and it'll slowly give and start to come up. Ideally, you want to drive these posts to grade, but I'm just showing you a point, showing how the WingJack can save your butt and save you a $40 post. If you happen to drive it a little bit too deep, it's not a big issue. You can certainly salvage it and save the day. Typically, yeah, drive it to grade. Now, a lot of y'all are gonna say, you know, what's gonna keep these pickets or these posts from dropping back down to the ground? I'm gonna come back through, I'm gonna tamp each side of these posts. So every post that I lift, I'm gonna tamp each side of it. Then we're gonna put the second set of screws in all the 2x4s. So there's only 1 on each side for now. That way that it can all pivot while I do my adjustments before it's ready for pickets. I'm gonna lift up the ones that I gotta lift up, tamp the ones that I lift. Put the second set of screws in the 2x4s, help lock it in. Put all the pickets on, help lock it in. And the cover picket that goes on the back side of these postmaster posts, we're jamming that into the ground, and that's going to help keep the post elevated as well. You got over 40 inches of ground, of surface area in the ground. It's dry when you packed it in, or when you drove it in. When the ground gets wet, it's going to hydrolock these posts. But there's already, 40 inches of surface area friction tamped with the board holding it up, locking these posts in. They're not going to drop back down. They're not going to go nowhere. So, WingJack, save the day. If you drive a post too deep, easy to fix. Typically, you want to drive them to grade, but if you can't, you got a curved fence, this is the way to do it. There's always going to be that one guy in the comments that's like, oh, you lifted one up too high. Yeah. That's why we made one of these from MrFenceTools.com. It's a post protector. Really, it's more like a thumper protector that's balanced. Sits on top of the fence evenly, and you can tap it down, fine tune it with your thumper in case you lift it just a tad bit too high. You just give a little